As you can see, this week's episode is to spank or not to spank. Hi, thank you for joining me for my second episode of Kay's Corner. This is my Tuesday 10-minute talk. So, to spank or not to spank, how do we handle that? I'm going to talk about ways to actually discipline our children. And first of all, I want you to know that when I talk about discipline, I mean from a standpoint of love. Everything that I've done is because I love my child. We don't discipline our children unless we love them. And there's nobody out there that I hope is spanking or giving corporal punishment to a child that wants to do it. 9 times out of 10, most of us, we do not want to spank our children. And it's just something that we have to do. So just remember, everything that we do is out of love. Now, ways to spank. Old school. Now, spanking is very old school. And we remember those days when you did something and your mama or your grandmama would grab you by that arm and say, "Didn't I tell you not to do such and such?" You remember how they talked to us when they spanked us. That's important. When your child does something, they've got to know that the punishment is a consequence of their action. We don't punish because we want to. We punish because they did something wrong. So first of all, you got to talk to the kid. Now, I know that very often we get emails from teachers. We get phone calls from teachers when our kids are not in our presence and we're waiting on them to come through the door. You can't, as soon as the kid comes through the door, start, "That teacher called me and da-da-da, da-da-da." I know. We want to. We're frustrated. Sit your kid down. Say, "Miss Benjamin called me today. And we previously discussed this particular behavior. This is what I expect. You know what I expect from you. You know that you shouldn't have done something." Now, I say that we're going to say to the kid, we talked about this because too many of us often make empty threats to our children and not promises. We've got to talk to them all the time, and they've got to understand our expectations. And we can't be those parents that say, "All right, if you do this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to spank you behind. I'm tired now. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you." And all they ever hear is, "I'm going to get you," but nothing happens. Got to make promises. They've got to know that if I do A, B is going to happen. They got to know that because, see, our children, they know our patterns better than we know our patterns. There's some kids sitting out there right now saying, "Man, yeah, I'm gonna stay out past my curfew. Man, and your mama, yeah, she gonna fuss, but you know how my mama is. My mama gonna talk, she gonna fuss, she gonna say this, she gonna put me out." Man, my mama ain't doing any of that. You're making threats. You're not making promises. That's important. You got to do what you say you're going to do. So we don't need to say things that we know we aren't ready to do or we can't do. Because remember, in my first episode, I talked to you about what child abuse is. And if you can't legally do it, don't talk about it. Because I know, some of us culturally say things like "put my foot on the neck" or "I'm going to, knock you in the throat" and all that. We know we can't do those things. But now, what's important is the children, now they need to believe it. I had a child at school the other week who was he had done something and he's like, "My mom's going to kill me." I knew his mom. I'm like, "Boy, your mother's not going to kill you." But I thought to myself, now it's good that he's got that kind of healthy fear for his mother, because healthy fear is good fear. Your children have to believe in you and know, man, that there are consequences when I do certain things. So sticking to our promises. Now, if we're going to give corporal punishment, how are we going to do this? Now, licks. I already talked about the old school, you better stop and talking to them while you're spanking their butts. Another thing that I've tried is, say for instance, one of the issues that you're dealing with is your kids hitting each other. And you said over and over to stop hitting, don't do this. And they're doing it. You say to them, listen, I'm tired of talking to you guys about this. The next time one of you hits the other, this is what's going to happen. I want each of you to go right now, write stop hitting on a piece of paper. Count the number of letters. That's how many licks you're going to get the next time one of you hits the other. If you have to administer that punishment, the way that you administer it is S, pop, T, pop, O, pop, P, pop. You're talking to them, they understand, you kept your word. Another thing when giving licks, I was having problems with my son doing his schoolwork. And he would bring home, I call grades like 30s and 40s. Those are stupid grades because, see, you didn't even try. I just need you to put in a good try. You don't have to be that A student. If you're having problems in a subject and you a solid C student because you tried, I can deal with a C. But I'm not going to deal with you just not trying. So the punishment was every point that you are away from at least pass in a 70. You're going to get a lick for it. So he brings in a 30. What's the gap? 40 points, 40 licks. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. So if he's got 2 or 3 grades like that, you're saying to me like, that's 80 licks. What do? This is what I did. I said, okay, 80 licks. I can't give you all of those in one day, but this is what we're going to do. We got Monday through Friday. You tell me how many licks you want a day. And every day he got home, he got the number of licks that he agreed upon. Because, see, we had already previously talked about the fact that we're not going to make 30s because we don't study. Now, corporal punishment, there are different things that you can think about. But make sure that you've talked to them about what the punishment is for certain things. We don't want repeat behaviors. Now, we know that corporal punishment doesn't work for all children. So what if spankings don't work for your kid? Because when I was a kid, they didn't work for me. Now, that was all my parents knew. But see, I would do something knowing I was going to get a spanking, knowing that daddy wasn't going to beat me to death. So I'm going to miss curfew. It's worth the spanking. Some kids are like that. So for those kids that spankings don't work for, one thing that I've tried is, first, let me, before I talk to you about what I tried, let me tell you physical discomfort punishments, meaning, sleeping in the garage or them eating noodles and everybody else eating pork chop or steak. Those things are difficult because they're harder to stick to. Giving somebody a butt whooping, that's quick. But if I say you're not going to watch TV for a week, I got to stick to that somehow. So you may have to pull all the cords out of all the TVs except for the one in your bedroom and hide them and lock them up. Take all the remotes and lock them up. But the bottom line is you got to stick to these punishments. You can't have your kids saying, Mama say I can't watch TV for a week, but man, Monday, Tuesday, by Wednesday, she'll be done forgot about it. So that'll be over with. You got some kids that just wait you out. I was watching television one time and there was a gentleman whose son had to watch Bloomberg television. Now, his son ended up being a very successful stockbroker, and he attributed it to his dad making him watch Bloomberg TV when he was punished. And that's a pretty good punishment because we all want our children to learn something. So that may work. But the bottom line is, if you say it's a week, you got to figure out a way to stick to a week. If he's got to watch Bloomberg TV for 3 hours, that means that you got to dedicate 3 hours to making sure that he does that. Now, I promised you that my episodes would only be 10 minutes. So join me again next Tuesday for my 10-minute talk, and it will be about how to put out your grown children. Now, some of you are frustrated and you're trying to figure out how to do that, but what I want to say to you is, if you're taking care of your adults and they don't know how to take care of themselves, you're doing them a disservice. So I'll see you next Tuesday. And remember, ding ding, I'm always in your corner. Bye.